years.
Yeah, exactly. We're great.
Good morning.
We're ready.
Good morning, everyone. At this time, I'll call the Crow Wing County regular board meeting for June 8th, 2021 to order. And if you'll stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, it's open forum. Is there anybody that would like to speak to anything that is not on our published agenda? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 2, which is to review and approve the minutes from May 25th, 21, regular minutes. Motion by Commissioner Franzine, second by Commissioner Coring. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, same sign. It's a little bit getting used to here where we don't have to have roll call any longer. I just want to hear everybody's name. I apologize for that. I have to be quicker on who's making motions now. Can't hear me?
Oh, no, I can.
Okay,
Just want to
thank
make
you.
sure everybody else can.
Next item is review and approve the agenda. We do have one adjustment on our agenda. Item number 12, which was going into closed session, will now be a report on Teamsters 346 contract by Mel. So if you'll make that note, I'll look for a motion to approve today's agenda.
Motion to approve with the change.
Commissioner Coring makes the motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Franzine seconds that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor? Thank you. Number 5, consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Franzine makes the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Commissioner Brecken seconds that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, same sign, no. Motion passes. Number 6, community services, community living infrastructure. Good morning.
You're moving fast this morning. Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Tammy Lewick, Community Services Programs Manager for Adult Services. I'm bringing before you today a grant. Crow Wing County was awarded or has been selected to be awarded a community living infrastructure grant in the amount of $341,715. It is a 2-year grant cycle that would begin, the funding could begin as early as July 1st. Before I move into the grant and what that would cover, I wanted to speak. I did send some different documents as part of my request. Draw your attention to the summary for the Community Living Infrastructure Grant, so it's the narrative. The affordability of homes in Minnesota relative to our ability to pay for them has been declining for years at rising costs for homes, transportation, healthcare, education, and other basic goods. And this is outpacing average incomes. I did include a lot of data. We are planning to come and go into this more in depth in July at Committee of the Whole. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these data sheets, but I would just draw your attention to historically, our housing vacancy in Crow Wing County has been 1 to 2%, and with the eviction moratorium, it's been 0.5%. The other thing that I wanted to speak to was that during protective sheltering, from March until the end of December of 2020, we provided protective sheltering to 295 individuals. And it's upward around 300 when we finished here now in April. And we'll have that as part of our report when we come in July. Of those that we had in protective sheltering, Crow Wing County was able to find housing for 40% of those individuals working with our community partners. 10% went to a higher level of care. Maybe it might have been substance use treatment or mental health treatment. 15% were asked to leave, and 35% were unknown. They left and didn't really give us their next steps. The other thing that is a part of this report that I wanted to also draw your attention to is the number of individuals that we've seen for homelessness over the course of the years. So in 2017, it was 161 individuals that we saw through our intake department. In 2018, 240. 2019, 190. And just looking at 2020, just those that we sheltered was the 295. So housing or homelessness, those that are unstable or in unstable housing, isn't necessarily new to Crow Wing County. Due to the shortage of options, many individuals and families in our community are staying in unstable housing environments, maybe doubled up. Sometimes they're living in their cars. They may be overhoused, meaning that they're living in a group home, institution, board and lodge setting with the desire or ability to live more independently, but feel they have no options. Through this grant, Crow Wing County would develop a housing-related infrastructure available to all people in our county. As you know, community services is a central hub to a number of these services, such as mental health services, substance use treatment, home and community-based waivered services, eligibility programs, and child and family services. We have not had a team dedicated at Crow Wing County to housing, and by integrating housing into our service delivery system, we would not only be able to provide support and services to this population, we will also meet a person's community living needs and choices by working further to develop their housing opportunities in Crow Wing County. The grant will provide an opportunity for us to increase and improve opportunities for housing with people with disabling conditions and housing instability to find housing and live successfully in our community. So with that, I'll go back to my request. The grant award through this program would be used to provide outreach. We could see people through intake, which we have been doing in the past. Usually they're seen by somebody in adult intake. This person then would have a specialty in housing and would know where our housing options are in the community. We would build capacity in our community. As you know, we've been working on that over the last few years with our White Oaks Estates property. We've also had some other housing support in the community, Burlington House through the Haverkamps, and then we have DD Gates. Those are housing support services as well for those coming out of treatment and transitioning back into the community. And sometimes that's the key step that an individual needs in getting back into independent living. Many times when they come out of these treatment programs, they are not employed, and it takes some time to get back up on their feet. So what we are here today to ask is for the board's approval to accept this grant award through the Department of Human Services. It would be effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th of 2023. If accepted, we'd ask that the Community Services Director be authorized to sign the said agreement, and Community Services will prepare a full budget amendment and seek personnel approval. Questions, which I'm sure you have some.
I have a question.
Yes.
So is it written across my face like that? It's pretty obvious?
No, I just assume you will have questions.
So the question is this. This is a housing resource specialist. It seems like this is a pretty specialized position. So this would be adding a position to the community services team, right?
Yes, correct. There's actually two FTE. The first FTE is a housing resource specialist that would work right directly with our intake team and work in the community with local landlords, HRA. We found that to be a really important piece when we did the protective sheltering, that you have to be able to identify where there are housing openings and be able to kind of pair people with those housing openings. Because for some people, it may be a supportive housing environment that might be the best right now. Some may be really ready for independent living. In the protective sheltering, we served a number of people over the age of 55 who may be appropriate for assisted living. And so just being able to help them find those different housing options. The second position is for administration and monitoring, and that would assist us with finding those, developing guidelines and support for those housing support vendors that we have in the community. We have currently no one doing that at that level. We have our contract manager through Sourcewell, and I do some of that work, and they would also help with eligibility, so for people to see if they are eligible for housing support. So that would be a person that would work within our accounting and our financial team.
So my question is, this is a 2-year grant by DHS via the state legislature. What if this doesn't get funded after 2023?
Yeah, so I spoke to DHS about that and asked about, once you receive this grant, what are the, what is the potential that we would be able to be awarded the grant in the future? And at this time, there has not been any county or tribe that I'm aware of that no longer was funded after they received this base grant. They were continued to be funded, and sometimes even saw increases in this grant. And so as long as we are showing a need, a continued need, and we're performing. I mean, we have performance measures that we have to meet through this grant.
My concern is that what I see is because of the pandemic, some of these issues rose to a higher priority. And so we see as that has sort of diminished, the pandemic or the COVID issue, that we're trying to kind of ease our way back to what used to be normal. And so my concern is that there will be a hardening of positions the further away we get from the experience of the COVID. That's my concern.
And Mr. Chair, the other thing I forgot to mention is there is housing stabilization services out there right now too that we have not been able, just due to capacity and working through this protective sheltering, and this grant may allow us to do this too, but to explore. There are dollars now available to those that are on medical assistance when you're providing housing support to them, so that may be another opportunity for us to draw down revenue for these positions.
And I'll just follow with the comment that this has always been a need that's been in our community that we haven't always addressed, and I think the past situation has drawn it out to a greater acknowledgement. And so I do think that going forward, that I would hope the legislature and DHS would see the ongoing need to address the homelessness issue. So, thank you very much. Other questions? Seeing none, hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Franzine,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hoag. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those not in favor signify by saying nay.
No.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 7, land use map amendment for Tamara Peterson. Mr. Free.
All right. Well, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I just have one land services item this morning. It is a request from Tamara Peterson for the address at 8278 Red Oak Drive, Garrison, Minnesota 56450. It's a request to amend the official land use map for parcels 672-10529 from rural residential 20 to rural residential 5, involving approximately 16.83 acres. We have a map that I believe is in the packet we can look at. And that's a good shot. The parcel that's of interest is in the dark red outline. And you can see that it's all rural residential surrounding the property with that lime green color, and then Shoreland District to the east, and then further off to the northwest. And the clear parcels where you can see the topography, those are tax forfeited county managed parcels. So if we switch to the next map after this one, there you go. The requester would like to split the northern property, a 5 acre chunk off of that property, keep the southern half, and that's why they're requesting to go down to that rural residential 5 zoning. That's in that area. We received at the May 20th Planning Commission meeting, we didn't receive any comments, except for we did receive a recommendation for approval from Garrison Township. And the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval. So with that, we're looking for a motion.
Questions, concerns?
Just one question. So Garrison Township did recommend approval?
They did, yes.
Okay, thanks.
I would look for a motion to approve the land use amendment.
I would make that motion.
Commissioner Coring makes the motion to approve. Second by Commissioner Hoag. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor say nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Jake.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. With that, I'm going to move to, well, we have the reports, but I think we do have one other, this item 12. For the Teamsters contract number 3, or Teamsters 346 contract. Mel, if you will lead us through this one.
Good morning, Commissioners. I believe Teresa is going to be putting up just a couple slides for you. As we get started, I wanted to share the contracts that we had that were for contract period 2021 through 2023. We had 5 contracts. They were the Assistant County Attorneys, IOUE, which represents the local 49ers group here for our highway and our facilities group, and then our Teamsters Local 320, which is our community services group, and then today we're presenting the labor settlement for Teamsters 346, which represents our licensed sergeant within the sheriff's office. The previous 4 that I just mentioned were settled earlier or late last year. A couple highlights for you. She's got it up. Salary adjustments, just as a reminder, for 2021, we moved that salary grid by 3%. 2022 and 23 was approved at 2.5% movement. All of our contracts since 2019 are aligned to the market and aligned to our performance-based pay strategy. And this year, we had a 0% renewal for our benefits, which was a really nice treat for all of us. So. Teamsters 346, a couple things. This is an essential unit within the sheriff's office. We have 8 licensed sergeants. Again, they were a really early adopter for performance-based pay. And their insurance is, they have a Teamsters Joint Council 32 insurance, but no change to the county contribution. A couple key recognition items for you to know. We had some promotional language that we changed. Any person promoted into that unit, we have some new language for them. Off-duty communication pay, this is a group that has to be available during off-duty time. So we made some changes to how we pay them for that time. And then comp time, we will be paying out any comp time earned up to 40 hours at the end of the year. It's usually paid out with the last payroll in December. And then we deleted articles and some language that no longer applied to this unit, and just clean up the contract like we did with all of our other contracts. And this was a contract that we agreed on, a 3-year contract, like all of our other contracts are a 3-year contract. So those were our major key recognition items for you to know about today. Any questions for me?
Questions? Look for a motion to approve.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Coring to approve. Second by Commissioner Franzine. Everybody wants to be the seconder on these motions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor say nay. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the contract settlement. With that, we'll move on to anyone to represent the Sheriff's Department that would like to comment? Seeing no one? Oh, you sure? Well, okay. We'll move to the County Attorney, Mr. Ryan.
Good morning, everybody. How is everyone today?
Doing good.
Fantastic.
I don't have anything special to present, but I certainly can answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for the attorney? You're off the hook again. Don, thank you very much.
Have a good day, everybody.
You too. County Administrator Hool.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, as you know, I was off last week, and so there was no senior management team meeting this morning, so I too have nothing to report. Happy to answer any questions related to anything related to county government. There's your hat trick for the day.
He's got an awful big smile on his face. The vacation must have went well.
Take any and all questions.
I don't see any questions, so with that, I would thank everybody. I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I would make that motion.
Commissioner Coring jumps on that motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Franzine. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor say nay. Thank you very much, everyone. I
Are
don't
we
think we've
adjourned?
ever gotten a nay on adjournment. That's-
Okay.
We all agree. Rosemary, you have a great day.